Welcome to Speak for Yourself. From up high, I see Marcellus Wiley, Emmanuel Acho.
Brother.
No one I wanted to see more so than Emmanuel Acho
You and Cowboys.
after a Cowboys victory. So let's get it started in Dallas. Oh, my God. Woo! The Cowboys shook off any signs of rust of offense in the last night's blowout over the Washington football team. Dak Prescott made history with his 4 touchdown passes. First time a quarterback has thrown a touchdown pass to a wide receiver, running back, tight end, and offensive lineman in a regular season game. Dallas has clinched the NFC East, and they're the second seed in the NFC. Oh, this is going to be interesting. So, Acho, did the Cowboys silence the critics.
So whenever you pick up a remote, you have a couple of options if you want to adjust the volume, right? You can clearly turn the volume up, you can turn the volume down, and there's a mute button. The Cowboys did not, by any stretch of our imaginations, hit the mute button. However, they did turn my volume down. They turned my volume down a little bit, but they did not, by any stretch of the imagination, hit the mute button.
Okay.
First and foremost, we have to establish what were the critics critical of.
Go.
I am one of the critics. Do we have the sound of where I was critical just last week? Do we have
remind yourself of your hate?
No, I want to remind the world
Remind yourself
of what we were critical of.
Let's hear it.
Dak Prescott feasts on lesser opponents. But when it's time to play an opponent that is mediocre to above mediocre, Dak Prescott does not feast so much. I was critical of Dak Prescott feasting on lesser opponents. What did the Cowboys do yesterday? They feast on a lesser opponent. Let me stop down and do this much. Cowboys played the most dominant football game I have seen against a competent opponent yesterday. I'm not talking about the Jets. Sorry. I'm not talking about the Texans. I'm not talking about the Jags.
Okay.
The Cowboys played the most dominant game of football I have seen all season long from any team against a competent opponent. So I will establish that, Cowboys fans. But now we have to establish this much. The Cowboys did what they always do.
Oh, what's
pick
that?
on the little man, Sal.
Oh,
They
really?
pick on the little man. Here's what I've said. I will never in my life, you'll never see me do one thing. I promise. You'll see me do a lot of things, but you'll never see me do this. Applaud a fish for swimming. Never will I applaud a fish for swimming.
Okay.
And I will not applaud the Dallas Cowboys for beating the Washington football team. Okay, I'm just not going to do it.
Okay.
Like, I will applaud a fish for doing a lot of things. Get out the water, do a couple flips. I'll applaud you for that. But I'm not going to applaud a fish for swimming, and I'm not going to applaud Dak and the Cowboys for beating NFC East teams. Dak is 24-6 versus the NFC East.
Oh, now
but
you
beyond
wanna,
that,
now you want to say it. Now you want to give
I'm not going to talk about the
respect.
East because I'm not going to disrespect my Eagles.
You don't talk about it, you just talk about it.
I'm not going to disrespect my Eagles.
Okay.
Dak Prescott, he beats teams that don't have a 500 or above record.
Okay.
But Dak Prescott is 28-25 versus teams that are 500 or above. So I was critical of the Cowboys not being able to beat a good team. Washington is not a good team. Dominant performance, Cowboys fans. It just really means absolutely nothing as it pertains to the bigger picture, which are the playoffs. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get the remote from you?
Whatever you like.
No, hand me the remote. Thank you. Stop. Rewind. Erase. I don't want to hear none of that. The critics, and I'm just the man sitting next to the man that's a critic of the Dallas Cowboys, need to be silent right now. If there's any time to pop off during the season, it certainly is not now. You know the time to pop off was? When they were in a slump, I guess, or at least Dak Prescott was, you know? The time to pop off is when they were going out there and struggling. Win game, lose game, win game, lose game. We did 3 blocks on them per show. I get it on the daily. They coming for you, dog. I ain't that big. I ain't that big. You know me, I'm running. I'm number 95 yesterday. We'll talk about the Washington football team later. But you know what, Acho? I know you, because I know you're a little brother. I know you're big brother. That's why I know you're a little brother, right? And to me, just because of age, not because of any other stat or any other attribute, you my little brother too. And you know what I notice about little brothers when you're sitting there and you want to change the channel? They gonna get the remote. And I knew you were gonna come up here with something. And we went to the remote control. Well, let's stay with the remote control and let's switch and flip the channel.
Please do.
Let's look at this Washington football team that you say is suspect or not that great or whatever it may be. How were they when they were beating the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Healthy.
Health? Oh, okay. Not a problem. Okay, I just want to start at the top because if we can't give Washington any credit or the Dallas Cowboys for beating the Washington team any credit, let's just talk about who Washington's beat. Oh, they beat Tampa Bay. Okay. Well, who else is at the top? Green Bay. Green Bay. Did I just watch Green Bay barely win a game against a team without a quarterback in Baker Mayfield? Oh, yeah. Interesting. Did I see that same team lose to a team, the New Orleans Saints, hovering around 500? We don't know if they're going to be a playoff team. Okay, so wait a minute. In this topsy-turvy world, we got to respect what the Cowboys did most last night. They turned all that potential energy into kinetic energy. You got to put some respect on this team. Cowboys have won 4 straight. Acho, you always come up here and try to educate our viewers about the film cycle. Those are the last 4 games.
Yes, sir.
You know what the film cycle looks like for the Cowboys right now? Win, 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 win. And it goes like this to the point where you're like, yo, that team is dominant. Look at all the firepower they possess. Cowboys on defense, because we up here right now leaning into Dak Prescott, how well he played, how many points they put up. Let's talk about the fact that if you look at this team, beside the 56 points they scored, they only gave up 14 points. Oh, Cowboys have held their opponents to 20 or fewer points in 4 straight games. That same film cycle. There are critics out there that are still talking about the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know where they are living, and I don't know what they are watching. But, hey, remote is back to you.
Thank you, sir.
Please, push pause.
Sir, we got to establish this much, man.
What?
Were you watching? See, I love football so much that I watch the commercials just because I don't even want to miss the start of a series. I'm going to watch water going into commercial because I don't want to miss a replay.
Yeah.
If you all were watching the game thoroughly, not casually watching it, eating no tortilla, no. If you were watching it thoroughly, then you watched the Sunday intros. The first drive of every Sunday night, they talk about where the player went to college, right? Marcellus Wiley, Columbia. Acho, University of Texas. If you were watching, something very peculiar happened when Washington was doing their intros because they came up on a guy, Milo Eifert, and he didn't say where he went to school. It was just a still shot.
A lot of cats do that.
Now, why did it happen that it was just a still shot? Because he just got promoted from practice squad so quickly that he didn't even have the time cell to sit down and record where he went to school.
You call
so you know what I had to do?
You call NBC out like that?
I had to Google Milo Eifert. I was like, let me look up Big Dog. Let me look at his resume. Let me figure out who was Dak Prescott whooping up on, because Dak Prescott whooped them boys.
Did he?
Who was he whooping up on?
Got to do it.
Google Milo Eifert. Nothing came up. I must have spelled it wrong. Oh, it's a he goes short, right? His name is like Camilo Eifert. Nothing came up. What the heck? Maybe I'm tripping. Camilo Eifert, Washington football team. I finally saw an individual's name and statistics. Dak Prescott was playing against a guy who didn't even live in Washington long enough to record Milo Eifert. University of Illinois. That's all the time he needed. But he had just got there so suddenly. And that's who Dak Prescott is whooping up on still that you want to come up here. Cowboys fans, y'all want to come up here and gloat about? Again, I'm a realist. I'm not an optimist. I'm not a pessimist. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys play the most dominant brand of football I have seen. But again, who did they do it against and why does it matter? Let me say this, and then I'm going to pass this right back to you.
Okay, I got to do it.
If y'all sitting at home, y'all know this much. It's very easy to make a mess in your household. Incredibly easy to make a mess. If I wanted to, I could knock all these papers off this desk in about 5 seconds. It would take closer to 5 minutes to put them back up on the desk because it's easier to destruct something than it is to put it back together. My confidence in the Cowboys was destroyed very quickly. It's not going to come back together in one solid performance. Yesterday beating Washington ain't going to bring my confidence all the way back together. So, if Anne Marie, your wife, is faithful for one night, you're not going to applaud her.
Damn, you went there.
I had to.
Does it take this much to get a take across?
Yes, it does. Give me the remote, damn it. The last day for a while. I gotta get all my shots out.
Good Lord.
If your wife was faithful for a night, you're not going to applaud her. It's not going to make up for one night of infidelity, not one night of faithfulness. In the same breath, one night of good play by Dak Prescott is not going to make up for 3 consecutive weeks of infidelity against good play. I'm not going to do it all that.
Damn, you just done stepped in the mess that you said that takes no time to make in the house. You just done stepped in. I hope you got some shoes on because a lot of glass. A lot of glass on the floor. I get it, though. It takes forever to get in shape, no time to get out of it. I get it. It takes you forever to gain confidence about the Cowboys and no time to lose it. I understand you, Acho. Problem is you're a skeptic, so I don't think you ever were going to gain confidence in the Dallas Cowboys. And you keep talking about one night. They have won 4 straight, bruh. One night, stop doing this, Acho. Let's do this. Since Acho doesn't want to give credit to the Dallas Cowboys, certainly doesn't want to give credit to the team they just beat last night, and now he wants to look around and let's look at the NFC at large and let's say, is he going to take away credit from everyone? Because if it's good for the goose, it should be good for the gander, right? Cowboys improved to 9-1 versus NFC teams. You keep talking about NFC East. They don't play that many NFC East games. So they have the best record in the entire conference against teams in their conference. That includes Tampa Bay. That includes Green Bay. And why I keep bringing those names up?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, one, when we go to the big board, every time I see the power rankings, Green Bay is at the top for you. And now Tampa Bay used to be at the top for you, but we know that they hold the crown. So even if Acho is down on them, they're still the Super Bowl champs. So I will use those two for reference. Let's do this. Acho, let's play a game. All right. It's multiple choice. You tell me. Packers, Bucks, Cowboys. Which team has more takeaways? Which is the most important stat?
Of course.
Which team has the most takeaways? Take your time, man. We on TV. Breathe.
I know it's the Cowboys.
Oh, you know it's the Cowboys?
Don't say which is the most important stat. You're now leading me to other information.
What is Coach? I'm sorry. I just regurgitated what every coach told me since Pop Warner.
The Cowboys have the most takeaways, sir.
Okay, since that ain't the most important stat, ding, 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 ding. Who has the highest scoring offense? Who puts the most points up?
Cowboys collectively.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. Okay. Highest point differential. Vegas loves this stat. Cowboys, Packers, or Bucks?
Cowboys.
Ding, ding, ding. This is so fun. Oh, my God. Okay, let's do this. How about third down defense? You know, money down. Ooh, Cowboys, Packers, Bucks. Oh, you tired already? You already done quit. You know why? You don't want to give them love beating up on the NFC East teams. I'm with you there. But then we look at the top, and the Cowboys not only match up evenly with these teams, but in most categories are better than the best teams. Number 1 scoring offense in the entire NFL, Dallas Cowboys. Takes the ball away more so than any other team in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. Bruh, they done changed. They done turned all that potential, all that firepower, and finally somebody lit the fuse, and it detonated last night to the tune of 56-14.
So I got a question for you. I got a question for y'all, not just Marcellus Wiley. Y'all are equally as intelligent. Y'all just don't have the degrees. So would you applaud Shaquille O'Neal if he dunked on Steph Curry?
What age?
I wouldn't.
What age?
Any age.
Oh.
I wouldn't. I'm not going to applaud Shaq if he dunked on Steph Curry. I'm not going to applaud Deontay Wilder if he knocked out Floyd Mayweather. And I will not applaud the Dallas Cowboys for beating the Washington football team.
That's what you don't want to do.
You did what you were supposed to do.
That was what you're supposed to do, 56-14?
You're supposed to win. Now, they did it handedly. I've said it before. I'll say it again.
What about the other 3 games?
Remember when Mayweather fought Logan Paul? We were not going to praise Floyd if he won. You're supposed to win. Floyd, we are going to clown you if you lose. If we're being real, let's be real. Cowboys had everything to lose and nothing to gain from that game yesterday.
No, they didn't have anything to lose. They won a division before they even kickoff.
But if you
they had nothing to lose.
If you lose to Washington, I can come up here, other guys can come up here with merit.
What noise?
Continue to ask questions about this offense.
It would have been merit, but you won't give them their credit now, so we can't take your debit. If you're going to take away, you got to give it back. And if you're not going to give it back, then I don't want it at all.
So remember when you were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, when we were kids,
7,
before
5.
the world got super sensitive and before things got very tense, growing up when you were like 2, because remember, girls girls mature faster than boys, 2nd grade, excuse me.
Oh, okay.
They would always be like, no, don't fight a girl, don't fight a girl. Mom will tell you that, Pops will tell you that, friends.
You really are shooting your ammo, damn it.
Everyone, I'm shooting.
Cowboys, keep whipping up on
And the
TV.
reason they would say that is because, if a girl gives you these hands when you're 2nd or 3rd grade, you getting clowned. But if somehow you give them a takedown, whatever the case may be, you gain nothing. You're supposed to win that matchup in the 2nd grade. Okay. That's what the advice that we would give out 2nd, 3rd grade. It's just when you little kids, no, don't fight her. It's okay. She took your toy. It's fine. Same thing I'm telling these Dallas Cowboys, Sal. You're supposed to beat Washington. You want to come up here and gloat because the Cowboys won. Are you still gloating when MJ walks? He's 5. I should hope that he can take steps by
He's
now,
6, Uncle. Thank you. You know where I live? No, you don't. You know why? Because I've been checking every day since Christmas where the gifts at. MJ Talk, Anna Marie and her infidelities. All this, it come at a cost. When you gonna show up, or at least Amazon, or at least an email, a gift card, something from Uncle Acho. But it's okay. MJ doesn't forget. Neither does Pops. Let's talk about this right now. I got 2 things to respond to you. The Cowboys' record is what? 11-4. That's not a part of the game show. You killed the game show. We ain't get renewed for our 2nd season because you didn't want to participate. 11-4. That record is the second best in the conference. That record is right behind Green Bay. They clinched second in the NFL in terms of their wins and their playoff accomplishment. You're trying to make this all about the Washington win. Bro, the Cowboys were made men before they even stepped on the field against Washington. That's why I was laughing in post-game interview. They were talking to Dak. He's like, yeah, I just want to come out here and, win a division for our guys and go out there for the city of Dallas. I was like, Dak, you didn't even have to play today. Y'all won the division. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, that they already had some logs in the fire that you just won't respect that are hot.
I got something for you. So I have.
You got another take? I didn't even get to my second take of my take.
We got a 2-hour show, and I got a stat that's going to blow your mind and go undermine all 11 of those wins. I ain't going to give it to you right now.
Oh, really?
We coming back
in
you one of those 15 minutes.
Oh,
and just wait. I got something for you.
You trying to tell me that the fear of death is worse than death itself? I watched that. I seen that before. You trying to do Die Hard on me. It ain't going to work, big dog. Here's my last take. Oh, Marcellus, be careful.
Now he's fighting himself.
Be careful.
See, now he's fighting himself.
No, I'm trying to finish what I started. This is a great take, too. Now, I got to give credit to who deserves the credit if it works. Tell me this. You ever grab a jar or something? You're pretty weak with your hands. At least your hips are tight. I don't know what's up with your body. Here's the thing. You ever grab a jar and try to open it? Can't do it. I know I can't. Look at this pinky. It's a problem. You pass it to the homie. Hey, man. And then he do this at the bottom. Man, this thing hard. Somebody else, you grab it too. He do this, and then what do? He grab a towel. And it still don't go. Then you pass to the next homie, and then he just go. You know what happened with the Dallas Cowboys this year? There were times where it was like, hey, dog, get this. Oh, man, the offense sputtering. No, get this. Oh, Dak, man, he's just coming off injury. All right, homie, get this. All right, Kellen Moore, change it up a little bit. Everybody get healthy. Finally, Washington football team show up. They know that they're the division champs. They already clinched in the playoffs, second seed. 56 points, bruh. It's open now. It's out. Everybody gonna see it, bruh. Give Hiller credit for that one. I love that take. Now, coming up, Baker Mayfield's Christmas did not go so well. Well, what's new? We'll tell you if we've seen enough of the Browns quarterback. But first, the Chiefs are the hottest team in football. We'll tell you if anyone in the AFC can stop them. That's next on Speak for Yourself. 4-game win streak. You're talking about one game. The Chiefs pushed their winning streak to 8 games after yesterday's blowout against the Steelers. Patrick Mahomes threw 3 touchdown passes to help KC win their 6th straight AFC West title. After the game, Mahomes said, quote, we have more goals we want to go after, but this was the first one. So, Acho, we had to come to the big board for this one. Can anyone stop the Chiefs?
Let me get my rock, man. Let me get my rock.
Look at you. Damn,
I got to make sure these hands still work.
Oh, yeah. You ready.
No. And the worst thing has happened to the entirety of the AFC, except the Chiefs, which is the Chiefs are now clicking on both cylinders, offensively and defensively. So usually we break the season into quadrants. Remember when there's 16 games, we look at it first quarter of the season, the first 4 games, second 4 games, third 4 games, last 4 games. That's back when the season was 16 games, what every NFL team does. I've broken it down into thirds to look at these Chiefs and why no one can stop the Chiefs. First 5 games of the season, if we look at it in a big board, Chiefs offense was on point. 31 points a game. Defense, terrible, giving up 32 points a game. Okay, then the next 4 games, if you will, offense now was atrocious, only scoring 17 points a game, but the defense was balling, only giving up 16 points a game. But this last little third, if you will, collectively dominant. Offense scoring 30 points a game, and now the defense only giving up 13 points a game. Nobody can stop the Chiefs because the Chiefs have now ignited what should be the fear to every other team in the AFC. Offense is balling, defense is balling. Remember when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl 2019, what happened come week 11?
Don't do this.
The defense those last 7 weeks of the season were as good, if not better, than every other team in football. Now that the defense is playing great, which they have been since week 6, now that the offense is playing great, which they stopped doing after week 5, I don't think anybody can stop the Chiefs.
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, or the suit that's a robe. First of all, let's give some love to Emmanuel Acho, who just got out of the bed. But I respect you. No, that's clean. That's clean. That's love. That's love. That's love. Okay, you know what I got to do? I got to give credit where credit's due. I can't sit up there in the A block and say, Acho, give the Cowboys credit, then come back on the B block and then rob the Chiefs of the credit they deserve. Everybody out there, America, listen to me, because I'm a Chiefs hater, as y'all say. The Chiefs are back. The Chiefs are back. Now, ellipsis. Back to what? The dynasty. The dynasty that was not a dynasty. Let's talk about the Chiefs are back. Respect. Ooh, look at these boys. They done won 8 straight. They done won 6 titles. Whoa. And what has that gotten them in receipts? The best version of Patrick Mahomes? They didn't even make it to the Super Bowl. AFC Championship loss. The next year, a little lesser version of Patrick Mahomes, still tremendous, still a beast. Oh, let's go win the Super Bowl. Then the next year, let's go to the Super Bowl again. But this time, we're going to lose and get embarrassed and not even score a touchdown. So the Chiefs are back. Acho, congratulations. Tie up the robe a little tighter. They're back to what is my conversation, my question mark. Think about this. If that was a dynasty, then what are the Chiefs right now? A team that may not make it to the Super Bowl, a team that may make it to the Super Bowl and win, or a team that gets embarrassed in the Super Bowl. Let me remind you what those Super Bowls look like to these Kansas City Chiefs. 8 quarters of football in the 2 Super Bowls. 7 of those quarters, they were down. 1 quarter of Chiefs football in 2 Super Bowl appearances. So there's been more evidence that this team either won't make it to the Super Bowl, or when they make it to the Super Bowl, they're going to be down or they're going to be out. There's 1 quarter, Jimmy G. There's 1 quarter, number 2 defense, that let them down, the 49ers, that makes us think they're dynastic. If they were a dynasty then, yeah, they're back to that same dynasty that may not even make it to the Super Bowl.
So it sounded like what you were saying was going to scare me or be worrisome, but it's kind of like when people be like, hey, Acho, be careful when you start getting more money. No more money, more problems. I'm like, I'll cross that bridge when I get it. Let me get the money and yeah. They didn't lie.
Puffy, you ain't lying.
They didn't lie. With the Chiefs, if the Chiefs' biggest issue is, hey, but y'all are going to struggle in the Super Bowl, then
that's not the
that
biggest.
Be an issue.
What about the first one? They didn't even make it.
Big dog. That was Patrick Mahomes' first year as a starter. Okay. What it comes down to is the Chiefs are a dynasty. Why? Because every AFC team has to go through the Chiefs. It's the same reason I said LeBron James, the entity, was a dynasty.
I'll give you that.
Now we can't talk about him presently. But if you wanted to go to the championship, you had to go through LeBron James. When you look at, all right, can the Chiefs be beat? The question now for me becomes, who going to beat them? Right? I look at every AFC team in the playoff picture. Let's throw that one out. Every AFC team in the playoff picture. Tennessee Titans, they're not good enough on offense to beat them. Cincinnati Bengals, they're not good enough on defense to beat them. I'm going to skip the Bills, get back to that because you got something there.
You know the Titans beat them already, though.
Indianapolis Colts, Titans beat them before they were hot. Indianapolis Colts, I do not think their quarterback, and I love Carson Wentz, I don't think their offense is good enough to beat them. Patriots, offense not good enough to beat them. Ravens, are they healthy? Defense not good enough to beat them. So what it comes down to is this is who the Chiefs have to be mindful of.
Couple losses.
Only team, not a couple losses in the last 8 weeks, only team that I give any credence to is the Bills, is who can actually stop the Chiefs where the Chiefs are right here, right now.
Dog, before you compare yourself to others, please do me this favor. Compare yourself to yourself. Life's a competition between you and yourself. Not me, Wileyism, Mark Twain. Okay, so let's compare the Chiefs to the Chiefs. I heard you say it in your first lap, 2019 and the better versions of the Chiefs, and now they're returning to that form. You're making my point. They're back to what they were. And what they were, more times than not, fell short of the ultimate prize, the ultimate goal. Let's respect that. But let's also look at the Chiefs versus themselves. The year-to-year comparisons, the last 4 seasons, this dynasty, including this year, right? If you look at the Chiefs, I'm looking at them points per game. Okay, they back. Oh, the worst of the 4 years. Dynasty? This is the worst version of the dynasty that only has 1 quarter, 1 ring of championship football. Okay, let's look at yards per play. Let's look at defensive yards per play. Let's look at points per game allowed. Everywhere you look, I don't even want to bore people with these stats. Point is, this is the worst version of a dynasty that never was. And you're trying to tell me that no one can beat them?
Here's why that is irrelevant. Because I would assume that the time, I don't know, call it Bill Gates had the least amount of money was probably in 2008 when the economy crashed. You can't compare yourself to yourself. You got to compare yourself to the field because things change on a year-by-year basis.
I respect that.
So it's not a matter of, well, Chiefs, are you better than you were last year? Are you better than you were in 2019? How are you in comparison to the field? In comparison to the field.
Well, look at that team right underneath them. That team already touched them. And that team is going to see them again, potentially going forward. And that team may be reloaded. That team may be hot as well when Derrick Henry comes back. That's just one example. I love how we're doing right now this theoretical matchmaking. Like, what the Chiefs, with this hot streak, what is it going to take them to in terms of ultimate achievement? The problem is we've seen them better than this, and it didn't get them all the way. But one time, for 1 quarter of 1 game, all I'm looking at is this Chiefs team good enough to even get to that position before? Because remember, Patrick Mahomes' best version also came short of the Super Bowl.
So who is the most dangerous person in the world? No,
Most dangerous person in the world?
most dangerous person in the world. Probably an actual person.
Yes, I
there
know.
are attributes that make them the most dangerous.
Master Kim, who is my son's Taekwondo teacher, who sits and he can sit. He's like 70 years old, dog. He sits and his legs are crossed and they like touching his ears still. It's crazy. But the point is, he's like an 18-degree black belt. Him. Dare you to go up to him.
Outside of Master Kim, most dangerous person in the world is somebody that's hungry, somebody that's needy, somebody that's desperate.
You ever fight somebody hungry? They ain't got much energy.
Somebody that's desperate.
Okay.
Who was desperate yesterday? The Steelers were very, very, very desperate yesterday. Why? Because they needed a win way more than the Chiefs needed.
So did the Chargers. How'd that turn out?
Not good either.
Yeah.
But the
they
Steelers were
hungry.
incredibly desperate yesterday, yet the Chiefs, without Travis Kelce, the same Travis Kelce that was the exclusive reason that the Chiefs beat the Chargers the week before,
Facts.
the Chiefs without Travis Kelce went and embarrassed a team that was hungrier than them, needed it more than them, and should have wanted it more than them. I don't think anybody can touch the Chiefs right now, and it's not about my thoughts. 8 straight wins, that tells you nobody can touch it.
Okay, I love that. But then when we go to the Cowboys 4 straight wins, all of a sudden we start slicing and dicing. All I'm saying is keep the same weapon out, big dog. Slice and dice these Chiefs up. You got to admit this in terms of your internal confidence. If you are not your best version, but your best version in 3 years came up short twice, then you're like, yo, what is this what we're dealing with right now? It feels good that we're better than the others, theoretically. But in terms of our own internal confidence, who are we as the Chiefs? This is not the best version on paper. This is not the best version in terms of flow, in terms of them feeling in rhythm. But, hey, they got the best record in the AFC. I give them respect for that. But they've been there before and fallen short with that same best record. Coming up, we're heading back to Dallas, and they had a blowout win, but we'll tell you if we're still worried about them. That's next. See, there that weapon go again. That's next, though. Speak for yourself. As the kids say, keep that same energy with the Chiefs, man. Let's head back to Dallas. Cowboys offense stepped up in a big way last night against Washington, led by Dak Prescott, 4 touchdown passes. After the game, Dak was asked if the slump was officially over for the offense. He said, quote, "You tell me. Never said we were in a slump." Those were your words. Ooh, Acho, you look dead in your eyes and said that. Are you still worried about the Cowboys, man?
Absolutely. Nothing they did last night solved me of my worries. Now, played one of the most dominant games of football I've seen all season. So I walked outside my house today, and it was sunny. And I kept walking. Why? Because it's supposed to be sunny in Los Angeles. Now, last week when I walked outside my house and it was raining, I freaked out because it's not supposed to be sunny in L.A. Today, I didn't walk outside on a sunny day and start jumping up and down. Thank God it's sunny, the sun. No, it's supposed to be sunny in L.A. That's what L.A. does. That's what L.A. produces. Dak Prescott's supposed to beat Washington. That's what Dak Prescott does. That's what the Dallas Cowboys produce. Dak Prescott is 24-6 in his division, wins 80% of the time. That's who and what they do. That is supposed to happen. So that did not solve me. That did not calm me. That did not silence any of my worries. Once again, I will not applaud a fish for swimming, and I will not applaud or rest my concerns because the Cowboys beat a Washington team that was crippled by COVID. What were my concerns? My concerns were, can the Cowboys beat a playoff team?
Yeah.
Like, that was my concern. Now, Dak Prescott, you're 2-2 versus playoff teams this year, so you got just as good a chance to do as you do to not. But in the same breath, I don't want to trust a coin flip. Because when you play the NFC East, it's not a coin flip. I know you're going to handle business. When you play a playoff team, Dak Prescott, you were 1-9 over the last 2 years versus playoff teams prior to the season. 2-2 right now, so what? You're 3-11 versus playoff teams over the last 2.5 years, over the last 3 years of ball if you want to go that route. That's not very confident for me. So the Cowboys in beating Washington don't take away my worry. You have to establish, why were we worried? We weren't worried because Dak was all of a sudden bad. Never said he was bad. Said he's not elite. Dominating Washington doesn't tell me you're elite. Just like Joe Burrow throwing for 525 yards versus a depleted Ravens secondary doesn't make him a top 5 or top 3 quarterback to me. You took advantage of those who you were supposed to take advantage of. Dak, Burrow, great job. But I'm still worried because what occurred yesterday is not what put my mind at ease in regards to my worries.
Ooh, so you're still worried, right? Oh, man. Grandma told me a long time ago, baby, you can't make sense out of nonsense. I wish I listened, but I'm going to still try to make some sense out of this. Because I know you're the worrying type. You just told on yourself. I know that. I mean, I know you. So it's in part why we ain't hung outside of here. So I ain't going to bring more than 2 hours of worrying to my day. 2 hours is enough. I get paid for those 2 hours as well. Here's the thing. You notice in your example, and I'm going to relate it to, obviously, this Cowboys topic, that you don't appreciate stuff when it's going good, when it's status quo, when it's expected. You don't. You don't appreciate the sun for just, first of all, just you getting up to recognize the sun is there. You don't appreciate, you got another breath of life. Acho doesn't appreciate sunshine in L.A. Why? It's expected.
Of course.
But Acho freaks out when it rains in L.A. And it's interesting. You also freak out on the Cowboys when they lose a game here and there. But you don't give them their props and appreciate it when they win the game. So let's talk about their win streak, 4-game win streak. It's not just the Washington football team. They didn't just dominate that team. They are on a 4-game win streak. When did that win streak start? When they faced the New Orleans Saints. Say what you want about the New Orleans Saints. You can also say this. They undressed Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. They beat Green Bay Packers, and you look at them against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Damn, that's how it started? Against that team? Interesting. Now you look at this team, and everyone wanted to worry and panic over the fact that there is a tough side to the NFL. There is a flip of the coin to the NFL. There's the heads and there's the tails. No matter who you are, only one team in the regular season and postseason ever went through unscathed. There's only been one team, the 72 Dolphins. Every other team has turned that smile upside down when they play in the NFL. But we're going to extend this and exaggerate it when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. It doesn't make any sense. I look at the Dallas Cowboys as a team that, in many categories, are better than the best teams. Who are the best teams? Well, the Super Bowl champion, Tampa Bay Bucks, and Green Bay Packers in the conference because they have the best record. Oh, do you know that the Cowboys are better in points per game, takeaways, running the ball, stopping the run, third down defense, etc.? Like, the Cowboys are primed to what they need to do, which is win it all. If you put yourself in position to win it all, how can someone be skeptical? How can someone be critical? How can someone be so worried when they're not worried about anybody else in that same position? You look at the conference standings, one team sits high on top of the Dallas Cowboys. One team. And even that team has its issues, especially when it comes to comparison with the Dallas Cowboys.
But so, I got to remind you, big dog, and I got to drive this 1 point home. It takes one action to break trust. That's all it takes. Just one action to break trust. And it takes several courses of actions to rebuild it.
Right.
Dak Prescott had an action against the Giants, fourth quarter, fumble. Had an action against Washington the first time they played, fourth quarter, interception. Had an action against the Saints, bad performance, bad turnovers. Those are several actions.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot remove all of my worry by one action. Again, I've used the relationship analogy.
Let's go.
If you get stepped out on once, one night of faithfulness is not going to redeem the worry you have when your significant other is out again. Why? Because one action can remove trust, and it takes several actions to rebuild that.
Okay.
I need several. Can I get 200 plays from Dak Prescott, not 20? Can I get 200 quality plays? Can I get 3 games in a row, 4 games in a row quality to remove my worry? Because
you got that
3
this
bad
year.
games.
You got it this year when he was MVP candidate, when the team was, 6-1? When Dallas Cowboys were sitting on top. They still sitting on top in their division, but sitting on top even in the conference, sitting there at the top. Look at the Dallas Cowboys, bro. I like the Green Bay Packers. Do you not have worry about the Green Bay Packers? You got to. Why? Well, they did play the Saints, and you keep talking about the Saints game. The same Saints team that beat Green Bay did not beat the Dallas Cowboys, but whatever. Do you have worries about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now we're saying I'm just the worrying type. I worry about everybody, and that's fine. So let's not exaggerate that when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. If you look at the Dallas Cowboys, they have what you need. They score the most points. They take the ball away from you the most. And also, they just have firepower that is getting healthy at the right time. That's just a formula for success going forward, even if you have some stumbles going back.
This is the one thing that summarizes my argument more clearly than anything else.
This is it.
Cowboys have won a lot more games than they've lost this season, correct?
Yeah, 11-4.
11 of them.
11.
They won 11 games, and the Cowboys
this is the
have only
stat?
lost 4 games.
Is this the
right?
stat?
So I'm sitting here thinking, man, if you've won 11 games and you've only lost 4, then there should be major discrepancies in some things, Sel. But I got to thinking, okay, Cowboys have won 11 games, they've lost 4. How much money is Dak Prescott making this year? $75 million, right? $75 million.
Yeah.
$75 million.
I wasn't there, but
give or take $75 million. The quarterbacks that Dak Prescott has beaten, remember, he's won 11 games. Cumulative salary of $58 million. Cumulative.
They got bad agents.
Collectively,
Horrible
quarterbacks
agents.
that Dak Prescott
Who are y'all
has beaten.
agents?
Dak Prescott has won 11 games. Now, the 4 teams that Dak Prescott has lost to, those quarterbacks' cumulative salaries of $75 million.
I like that.
Very, very, very. As simple as I can put it, America. The Cowboys are 11-4. If you add up the salaries of all the quarterbacks that the Cowboys have beaten, they do not come near what Dak Prescott is making this year. The Cowboys have only lost 4 games. If you add up the salaries of the 4 quarterbacks that Dak Prescott has lost to, they do make up his salary. What does that tell you? That the Cowboys are beating teams that they're supposed to beat. They are beating quarterbacks that don't make as much money as Dak, and they don't make as much money as Dak because they are either younger than Dak, so they haven't hit that contract, or they aren't as talented as Dak. Once again, the Cowboys are beating teams they're supposed to beat, but those 4 games that they lost to, when quarterbacks are now making more money or are as talented, that is when you see the losses. I'm worried about the Cowboys because when Dak Prescott has to play teams that are going to the playoffs, he's 2-2 this season. When Dak Prescott has to play quarterbacks that are adequately paid like he is, therefore adequately talented like he is, he takes his L's. Of course he's going to beat all these lesser teams. You're not playing broke quarterbacks in the playoffs. You might play one, but you sure as heck ain't going to play more than that.
Well, they could come whole, and you can break them down and make them broke. Drew Brees last year, we could do that. Respect, Drew. You know you're my dog. Here's the thing. Man, I hate to do this to you, but you did it to yourself. I'm a great listener. I talk a lot, but I listen more. You know that. That's my whole Wileyism. You sound like the rapper. I used to freestyle, and I used to be top 5 ever. Big Tigger, ask him. That's my dog. Ask Eddie George. Ask Castor who been around me. Samari Roll, like some of the OGs. I used to freestyle. Now, when I used to freestyle, everything was on the table. Everything, every topic, and it could be as profane as you wanted it. That's why I was such a tremendous freestyler. And one of the things I used to notice, let's just say my processor moves kind of fast. I went to a good school, so I was around a lot of smarter people than me, so I had to catch up. Whatever you want to say, I hated when I used to freestyle against a rapper who was so focused on rhyming that he wasn't focused on the content of his words. All he wanted to get to was the hat, because I know what you doing, little cat. I'm like, wait a minute, that rhymed, so it kept the party going, but I had a keen ear. I was like, wait a minute, y'all applaud this fool? Let me eat him up with 2 things. Not only am I going to rhyme, but I'm going to actually say something. Acho, I need to see your full screen once again. Because I learned something at school. I learned something at Columbia. Let's see that full screen again. The Cowboys' record is 11-4, right? Okay. And then I see 9-4, right? And that's 13 and 15. So obviously you can take that away. I can start to say, Dak, 2 games you didn't want to put up there, injury, missing, et cetera. But there's 2 games just missing, right? They played 15, Dak's missed 1.
Played Heineke twice.
I played Heineke. Oh, play Heineke twice, and that adds it up. Okay. This is what I learned about anytime you use numbers, statistics, et cetera. They have to be reliable, and they have to be valid, okay? The reliability of that, can I run that back? Can I run that back? Can I run it back? That doesn't really tell me a lot. Is it valid? No, it doesn't either. You know why? Let's talk about the highest paid players, I don't know, before Dak Prescott. Who are the highest paid players before Dak Prescott?
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes, good. Before Patrick Mahomes, you're going to get quiet up here.
Jimmy G, your guy?
Well, we skip him. Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G.
Went to a Super Bowl.
So did Jerry Goff. But point is, this reliable, valid correlation you're trying to draw between, since they made money, they must be the greatest players. It's not accurate. It's not accurate. It's misleading. It's rhyming, but not really having the content of your words, not the content of your numbers. Dak Prescott has beaten more teams than he has faced in terms of wins and losses. 11-4. You only beat who's in front of you, right? True. He didn't line the conferences. He didn't say put us in the NFC least. Dak Prescott is balling out of control this year. Why is he balling out of control? Because he's leading his team to the greatest position that they can be in. There's only one better, and even that one causes worry. That's the Green Bay Packers.
I simplified it, so what I could have done is this.
You had to keep it simple.
For y'all, I could have done this. Dak Prescott has beaten Mike Glennon. He's beaten Taylor Heineke twice. He's beaten Jalen Hurts. He's beaten Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. He's beaten Sam Darnold. He's beaten Herbert, and he's beaten Matt Ryan. Yeah. I just didn't want to make it that long. Because really what it comes down to is who has Dak beat?
Yeah.
Daniel Jones, Heineke, Ryan, Hurts, Glennon. Then you have Justin Herbert. But who has Dak lost to? Oh, wait.
They all got that.
Brady? Carr. Oh, wait, our guy in Denver. Bridgewater. Oh, so he loses. He loses to quarterbacks that, and I don't even know where to put Teddy, but he loses to quarterbacks that are competent and above.
But who plays those quarterbacks? Dak doesn't.
Simplified it.
Dak doesn't do that. You see, now this is why you had to keep it simple, because now we're going to go to advanced logic, advanced mathematics. Be real about this. Dak doesn't play against their quarterback. He plays against their defense, vice versa. Dak puts up the most points in the NFL. Dak's team, most points in the NFL. The other team and their quarterbacks that are good are going against the Cowboys defense. Cowboys defense don't allow the fewest points in the game, but they do have the most takeaways. And more importantly, last 4 games, they have allowed 20 points or fewer. So if you're really going to have this money conversation, you need to put up the Dallas Cowboys defense going against those star
I got one for you, and this is a great way to end this conversation for me.
Okay.
I absolutely hate when people say, well, they don't play against the other team's quarterback.
They don't.
Every football game is about matchups. If Marcellus as a defensive end is greater than the opposing team's defensive end, and if the defensive tackle is greater than the other D tackle, and if the D tackle is greater than the other D tackle, and the other D end greater than the other D end, if my corner is greater than your corner, all these things work. Let's go track and field. You
don't want to stay with that one?
No. Let's go track and field, because this is the simplest way to do it. In track and field, again, a 4x400 meter relay, 4 people, each run 1 lap, collectively makes up 1 mile. Now, what's interesting about track is people look at it and say, man, the first person to run ran faster than the other team's first person to run. That's not how I look at track. How I look at the 4x400 meter relay is like this, Sel.
Mile relay?
Yeah, mile relay. I look at it like this. Who's the fastest on this team and who's the fastest on that team? Okay? Because if the fastest for America runs the first lap, but the fastest for Jamaica runs the last lap, I'm comparing, how did you run in comparison to how that last person ran? I'm not saying, well, how did you, who ran the first lap, run against the Jamaican who ran the first lap? No, because y'all aren't the fastest. I want to see the fastest versus the fastest, even if they aren't actually running simultaneously. I want to see the second fastest for the second fastest, even if they're not running simultaneously. I want to see quarterback, how did you do versus the other quarterback, even if y'all aren't playing simultaneously. Because at the end of the day, how the quarterback does dictates how the team does. So people always say, well, the quarterback didn't play against the quarterback. Miss me with all that. At the end of the day, a quarterback is a quarterback, and the team goes as a quarterback goes.
That sounds so good, so poetic for those who are not well-versed in the sport. The better of the two is not always the best. If that was the case, Aaron Rodgers is like, yo, Tom Brady, can I borrow some of them rings? Because I'm better than you. But that doesn't mean you're the best of the two. Dak Prescott did the most important thing he could do for his offense. Score the most points. What else can he do? Yards, giveaways, take away. He lights up the scoreboard better than any other quarterback this year. So I understand what you're saying, because that works to a point. But then you get on the football field and you realize, I had 2 sacks, 3 sacks, 4 sacks. They had none. Why did we lose? Our quarterback was outshined by their quarterback. Why did we lose? It just adds up different. So using your relay example, it's not about who's the fastest all the time. It's who keeps that baton moving, because if you keep that moving, that's where you get the hidden yards, the hidden time that closes the gap between better and best. Sticking with the NFL, Saturday during the Christmas Day game on Fox, Santa Terry Bradshaw gave away a house on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. You hooked me up on one too, big dog. Congratulations to Luis from Oklahoma, who was the lucky winner. That ain't nothing but Lincoln Riley house. Fox Bet Super 6 has given away over $6 million in cash prizes, and there's another $100,000 on the line this Sunday. Scan the QR code to make your picks for your free chance to win. Coming up, Baker Mayfield would like a do-over on Christmas and his career. We'll tell you if we've seen enough of the Browns quarterback. Oh, Acho, boy, I hope you keep that same energy. That's next. Don't speak for yourself. Baker Mayfield's Christmas plans got ruined by the Packers over the weekend. Browns still had a chance to win, down by 2 in the closing seconds, but Baker threw his 4th interception to seal the win for Green Bay. After the game, Baker put the loss on his shoulders. Take a listen.
Just frustrating. I don't think it was anything preparation-wise, mentally. It was just missed throws, uncharacteristic, and I hurt this team.
Acho, seen enough of Baker Mayfield?
It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. This one's going to hurt me, big dog. Like that Cam one hurt me, this is going to hurt me. Where's my single? Where's my single, man?
Oh, you single.
This one's going to hurt.
Frame him up.
Yeah, I'm tired of seeing Baker Mayfield. I'm tired of seeing this version of Baker Mayfield. If the Browns continue to employ Baker Mayfield, this version as a starter, they are being negligent to their football team. They are undermining the work of the coaches, of the players, of the staff, and of the fans. If the Browns continue to employ this version of Baker Mayfield, then every post-practice rep is in vain. Every film watching session is in vain. All those smoothies that you drink after your workouts to build up your muscles, that's in vain. Every offseason workout has been in vain because this version of Baker Mayfield is not conducive to winning games for the Cleveland Browns. Again, I was drafted to Cleveland. I've been on the Baker Mayfield train for as long as one can possibly be on it. But after watching that game, I realized the Browns are handicapped. They're trying to fight with both their hands tied. Baker Mayfield threw 4 interceptions in 36 passes. That's 1 interception every 9 passes on Saturday. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 4 interceptions in 475 passes. Baker Mayfield did one thing every 9 times that Aaron Rodgers does once every 120 times. It is not a fair fight. For every 5 passes Baker Mayfield threw to his team, he threw 1 to the Packers. So for every 5 that the Browns was going to catch from Baker, the Packers was going to catch 1 from Baker. It's not a fair fight. I'm watching the Browns, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, y'all can't win as long as Baker's in. Period. It doesn't matter how hard Myles Garrett works. It doesn't matter how hard Denzel Ward works. It doesn't matter how hard Nick Chubb works. It doesn't matter how well Kevin Stefanski coaches. You can't win as long as this version of Baker Mayfield is in. Let me also stop and say, I'm assuming Baker Mayfield is hurt. Let me stop and say that, because I'm not going to sit here and act like Baker Mayfield is a terrible quarterback. But this version of Baker Mayfield is terrible. Have I seen enough of Baker Mayfield? I absolutely have. Because why am I watching a team fight knowing good and well all of their work is in vain? So, if you ask me, big dog, hey, Acho, can you fill up this water bottle for me?
Hey, Acho, can you fill up this water bottle for me?
But you knowingly put a hole in the bottom of the bottle. That is what Baker Mayfield is to the Cleveland Browns. Because what Baker Mayfield is doing is the Browns are putting in water of work. Myles Garrett,
That's how you throw water in
Denzel Ward, work. Nick Chubb, work. Everybody, Njoku, work. But Baker Mayfield is the hole at the bottom of a water bottle. It does not matter how much you fill up this water bottle with good things. At the end of the day, it will never be full because there is a hole at the bottom. And Baker Mayfield is the hole right now at the bottom of the Browns' success. It don't matter how much they work to fill it up. As long as this version of Baker Mayfield is at the helm, they will always long for more.
And you've seen enough, finally.
I'm done.
You're done?
For this season.
This version. I heard all those qualifiers. I heard that. Trust me, I'm going to attack those later. I'm an educated man, but let me just say this the way that I feel this. I've been seen enough. You know what I'm saying? Been seen enough. What the hell took you so long? America, where's my single? Where's my single? America, let me give you the Cliff Notes version of what Acho just did. Because one thing that slapped me in the face when I got to Columbia was like, what the hell are Cliff Notes? I never heard of those things. Our teacher first week gave us 3 books to read in the syllabi. First of all, I was like, syllabi? What do you mean? You mean us is a syllabi? All right, so now I'm there. I'm like, 3 books in 1 week? Boy, stop. Let's just say that wasn't my best grade of the semester, right? But I noticed my classmates, they all were getting better grades than me. And I don't know, I was measuring them. Not all of them were smarter than me. And then they gave me the tip. They gave me the hip. Acho. They said, Cliff Notes. Here's Acho's Cliff Notes of that take you just gave. You're right, Marcellus. And I know I'm right. I knew I was right. But, dog, I don't know what took you so long. Welcome. We've been expecting you. What you're seeing right now is crazy. But it's a battle. It's a clash of titans. Let's talk about that. Because I thought a cat only had 9 lives. But this sucker Baker Mayfield, woo, we in double digits with this one. This is a clash of the titans. And it happens all the time, not usually at the quarterback position, and certainly not with a borderline franchise quarterback. There's a battle of ROI, return of investment, versus, guess what, Acho? Buyer's remorse. Return of investment versus buyer's remorse. Damn it, he's a first overall pick who took us to the playoffs. We got to keep getting all we can out of Baker Mayfield. Problem is, there's also the same mindset that is sitting there being countered, clashed with, that says, hey, man, cut bait when you can. Buyer's remorse. Enough. We've gotten all we can out of Baker Mayfield. I love how the fact that he's hurt. And he's going to put the loss on his shoulders. I thought your shoulders hurt too. Like, you're going to put the loss on the broke shoulder? Stop it. It's okay. It's the NFL. It hurts. This is something I tell all my friends and family when they start talking about how overwhelmed they are in life and how all these things are adding up. One, I say don't add it up. But two, hey, it's football. It hurts. It's life. There are ups and downs. But when Baker Mayfield, you got to understand when you're throwing good money, good time, and good energy after a bad product. Let's be real about this. And this is the same thing I've been saying for weeks, if not years, but let's do it again. We saw them play yesterday. Nick Chubb had 17 carries, 126 yards, and a touchdown. Ernest Johnson had 4 carries and 58 yards. The defense held the Packers to their lowest yardage total since week 9. And what did that get them? A loss. You want to know why? Because there was one person that I didn't give any props to, any credit to. It's Baker Mayfield. Dog, cat got 9 lives. I don't know what we doing with Baker Mayfield. It's time, for real. Cliff Notes version. Cut bait.
You're not wrong. I can't say you're right just yet, but you're not wrong.
Okay.
Because to cut bait is to cut it in its entirety, and I'm ready to cut it at least for the season. So I was thinking about this. I don't know why this is such an analogy-driven day.
Right.
In reading ingredients on the back of bottles, and when you try to be healthy, like you've told me you try to be like I try to be, I always read the ingredients on the back of bottles, potato chips, whatever it is. And what you know about that, what you know about ingredients is the thing they list first is what you get the most of.
Yeah.
And the following ingredients, they go in the order of density, if you will, or proportion in what's in the package, whatever it is. Quarterbacks. The first ingredient you read for quarterback is passing ability. Now, after that, you might see running ability, leadership, system process, or all these things. But the first ingredient when reading the label of a quarterback is passing ability. So why then, Baker Mayfield, when you throw the ball 36 or more times, why are you 4-16? Why, Baker Mayfield, when we ask for your dominant ingredient to show up, why then do we have the worst taste in our mouth based on your performance?
Talk.
So you drink some water and you look at the back and it'll start and it'll say like water, then magnesium sulfate, then the very last thing will be like salt added for flavor.
Yeah.
It's the very last thing. Look at the back of your water bottles that y'all looking at, and you'll see salt added for flavor. What's interesting is some water you drink and it makes you more thirsty. And it's like, wait, but the first ingredient is water. I'm drinking this water to satiate my thirst. Baker, the first ingredient is passing the football. I'm asking you to pass the football to satiate my appetite for offense. I'm asking you to do that. So I don't want to drink water and be more thirsty, and I don't want you to pass the football and have adverse effects on my football team. And what Baker Mayfield does,
there you go.
The more he passes the ball,
there you go.
This version of Baker Mayfield.
No, don't do that.
Is having adverse effects on the Browns football team. So they lost to the Packers by 2 points, and Baker had 4 turnovers. If you just cut those turnovers in half, y'all probably win. No turnovers, y'all definitely win. 3 turnovers, y'all might win. But go ahead.
Yeah, I will go ahead because you took me right to where I needed to go. Let's talk discipline here because I swear, outside of perseverance, I think discipline might come second in terms of accomplishing anything that you desire. Let's talk about why that's important right here. We need to have some discipline. We need to have some order. We need to look at this properly when you assess this situation. Whew. You know what in college looked the most disciplined in uniform and group? not the football team, certainly not the basketball team at Columbia. It was the crew team. You ever see the crew team? Two things that stood out to me. One was, what time y'all practice? Damn! They used to be up there. They be in the harbor at 4:30. Yes, Acho, and pull. Because the second thing was, damn, all y'all got to be in sync, pulling in the same direction at the same time, even at the same pace and velocity. Baker Mayfield, you are in such a blessed position where you're on the crew team. You were the first overall pick. Like, of all them dudes, they got Myles Garrett pulling, Nick Chubb pulling all. Look at this team. And they said, Baker, you are on this team. But through performance, they've come to realize we're not going to give Baker Mayfield an oar. We're not going to give him a paddle. You know why? Because somehow, some way, he's not pulling in the same direction at the same intensity. Matter of fact, Baker Mayfield is sitting there in the boat with no paddle. And all they say is, just sit here, Baker. We got the rest. We're going to run the football. We're going to play defense. We got this. Just don't hurt us. But what does Baker Mayfield do? He can't just sit there and just be a part of the team or contribute to the team. Certainly, we ain't giving him a paddle. He putting his hand in the water, putting his feet in the water. He giving us drag. Everybody pulling. And we're like, why are we not going anywhere? Because Baker got his foot over the damn crew. So here's the point. Look at Baker Mayfield in good games. I hate when people act like even in his good games, it adds up. Baker Mayfield, think about this. 300-plus yards passing, 1 and 3. Baker Mayfield, 5 and 5 in game where he throws 300 yards since 2018. Stop acting like you just learned something yesterday. Stop acting like, oh, this season is an anomaly. Baker Mayfield been doing this, big dog. Losing record when Baker throws 2 or more touchdowns, 3 and 4. Come on, party people. He ain't pulling in the same direction. Cut bait or get him off the crew.
I got to get one more thing off my chest.
Okay, go do it.
Because so many other Browns fans will be like, well, Acho, Browns would have won that game if not for that PI that's arresting call.
Oh, okay, we're going there.
I got to go here because even as Baker's teammate, because I am on Team Baker prior to this last performance, as his teammate, I say this, I remind y'all, you create your own luck, and thus you also create your own curses.
Mm-hmm.
That's a life motto.
Yeah,
You can create your own luck, but you also create your own curses. I recall a friend one time, he missed curfew. And he missed curfew, and he got into a fender bender after missing curfew. Oh. And he's like, well, Mom, it wasn't my fault. They hit me, fender bender. And the mom replied, well, had you been home on time, you never would have gotten that accident.
Bang, bang.
Baker Mayfield, if you would have completed 2 passes that occurred before the interception, you never would have been in that situation for the PI. Can we look at both Njoku passes, and we can get out? It's a minute left in the game, and Baker, I just need you to throw a quick out to David Njoku. Just hit my guy. Just real quickly, just hit him on a quick out. This is pitch and catch in the NFL. It's behind him. Ooh. Baker, I need you to make a play, and you throw it behind him. Okay, it's fine, Baker. Next play. Redeem yourself. Redeem yourself. Now I need you to hit him. I believe it was a 7 cut. I believe it's a corner cut. Just hit Njoku. This is wide open in the National Football League. 7 cut. Just hit. And now we see the PI that turns into an interception that the refs don't call. Game over. You make your own luck in the NFL. You create your own curses in the NFL. Baker's created a lot more curses than he has created luck. I don't want Baker Mayfield to be tough. I want Baker Mayfield to be good. And it seems as though Baker's content, not Baker, the Browns are content with Baker being tough. I don't need Baker to be tough anymore. I just need Baker to be good.
Yeah, because he's making it tough on everyone else to go out there and achieve. That's the problem. It's one thing if you're not going to contribute, just don't be a hindrance, right? Like, be real about this. Like, look, I'm just telling y'all like it goes. Baker Mayfield has the second most giveaways in the NFL since he's been a quarterback. Second most. That's a lot of digging yourself into holes that it's going to take your teammates to dig you out of. Now we're starting to realize that not only are these holes too big for them to dig themselves out of, top defense, top running game, that now you got to start looking at why we in this position in the first place. Baker Mayfield, put it on your shoulders, because it deserves to be there. Coming up, Bill Belichick was in no mood to smile after Sunday's loss. Nobody's smiling. Ghetto. We'll tell you if his Patriots were overhyped. Oh, whoa, next on Speak for Yourself. There was a battle in the AFC East yesterday, and the Bills came out on top. Josh Allen, man, threw 3 touchdown passes in the win. And on the other side, Mac Jones was held to 0 touchdowns. Buffalo is now on top in the division, and the Patriots have lost 2 straight after winning 7 in a row. So, Acho, were the Patriots overhyped?
Not by me. You remember this. The whole time I've been saying Patriots are good, defense is great, but Mac Jones is going to be a limiting reactant. Sel, you have not one, not two, but three Teslas, correct?
Yeah.
My dog. You worked hard for them things. You work hard for them. What I know about Teslas is that they are incredibly smart. Maybe the smartest vehicles on the market.
Ever.
Some smarter than others, but they are incredibly smart. What I too know about Teslas, I don't own any. I don't have Marcellus Wiley money, but I've been in one.
Stop it.
What I do know about Teslas is, like anything, they're only as smart as the driver.
Oh, we're going here.
As smart as a Tesla is, and a Tesla may be the wisest vehicle currently on the market, a Tesla is only as smart as a driver.
Yeah.
So as talented and skilled as the New England Patriots are, defensively primarily, as talented and skilled as that coaching staff is, the Patriots are only as good as a driver. And as long as Mac Jones is a driver, then we knew that they were not going to fully maximize their ability because the driver's limited. I know y'all do this, so you ain't got to lie to me and try to act like you don't. When you get into a car, you don't read the manual.
Hell no.
Nobody reads the manual. You get into that joint and you get going. But if you ever do stop down and read the manual, somebody challenged me one time. If you ever do stop down and read the manual, you realize there's so many more accessories, options, abilities that the car is capable of. But because you, the driver, are incapable, then the car does not reach its maximal potential.
Bingo.
Because Mac Jones, the quarterback, is incapable, then the New England Patriots cannot reach their maximal potential. It's fine that he's incapable. He's a rookie, so everybody calm down. He's not supposed to be out there lighting things up. We've never seen a quarterback even go to a Super Bowl, let alone win a Super Bowl. So this is no indictment on Mac Jones. This is just a comparison to the reality. But we knew Mac Jones was limited, and thus the New England Patriots are limited because you are only as great as your quarterback can allow you to be, and a car can only function as highly as the driver allows it to function.
Tremendous take, and I'm going to get some of that take because you left me some ribs on there. They weren't overhyped because they were properly assessed because of, one, what they actually accomplished. They went on a 7-game win streak, y'all. Can y'all stop? So that's not overhyped. Overhyped is, oh, you only won one game and we're acting like you won 7 games in a row. They weren't overhyped. This is a team that we knew that they were going to hit a wall at some point because of the unknown with Mac Jones. Now, that wall didn't have to be a wall that they couldn't run through, but it certainly was going to be an obstacle on their path. Now, we're seeing that because they played a team that is the hottest team in the NFL when they're hot and the coldest team in the NFL when they're cold, in the Buffalo Bills. I don't think any team has greater extremes than the Buffalo Bills. That includes the Dallas Cowboys. That includes the Tampa Bay Bucks, Green Bay Packers, Kansas City Chiefs, whoever. Yeah. There are higher highs in Buffalo and lower lows in Buffalo as well. Now we see the Patriots even a series with this team, the Buffalo Bills. 1-1. Okay. So respect. Now let's talk about them. 7-2 in their last 9 games. Overhyped? Stop it, child, please. I want to focus in on why they're not overhyped. You said it there, Acho, and let's talk about it. You talked about a Tesla, but I know you don't own a Tesla because you gave me a take that only...
You got Tesla money.
You got Tesla money. You just like free cars. You like commercial cars or Lexuses and stuff. Lexi. Here's the thing, Acho. You talk like someone who doesn't have a Tesla.
Talk to me.
You did. You gave me that gas-filled car kind of analogy and example. I don't want to hear that. Talk about, whoa, it's about your driver. Teslas have self-driving. Now, self-driving is not you driving. You just behind the wheel. Oh, we got this. Elon Musk is somewhere just sitting there on his iPhone like, yeah, I got y'all. Y'all good. On highway and on city. Why do I bring that up? Because if you're Mac Jones, you just get in the car and go, boop, boop. Colvin know about this now. He just got a Tesla. My sister getting one next week. It's taking over. But the point is you get into it, you don't even start it. It just goes. Oh, so sexy. And then it goes, boop, boop. It's going to go where it needs to go. Guess what that boop, boop means? Bill Belichick. Boop, boop. Bill Belichick.
It's true.
That's what this situation is. Mac Jones didn't orchestrate this. Mac Jones didn't figure out the terrain. Mac Jones ain't hitting the gas and the brakes. Bill Belichick is sitting there self-driving. Mac Jones, just sit there. Don't be a hindrance. We need you when we need you. But most importantly, we got you. This defense, this offense, this running game, the way that they play in total performance is why they're in this position. Not overhyped, properly assessed.
America, let me tell y'all why I don't like rich people. Let me tell you why I can't stand rich people. like Marcellus Wiley. They try to overtalk you. They try to leave out pertinent information that have to do with their wealth. And because you are not in the same categories as them from a financial space, you can't question and push back. So I told you I've been in a Tesla before. What I didn't tell you is I drove the Tesla.
You drove finally?
I drove.
Yes.
And the problem with the Patriots, and I'm going to get there in a second, which is why I don't like rich people. The problem with the Patriots is that every now and then, Mac Jones, we need you to check in. Against the Buffalo Bills game, like we needed you to check in. Against the Bucs game, which was the second most important game of the Patriots season prior to Sunday. It was the most important game at the time. We attempted a 56-yard field goal, which would have been a career-long make for our field goal kicker, as opposed to Mac Jones, you on 4th and 3, just completing a 4th and 3.
Remember that?
Why I don't like rich people? Because the information you left out in regards to this Tesla is, if you do not touch the wheel every now and then,
oh, yeah.
You'll act up.
Oh, yeah. You got to keep the pressure on it.
Exactly right. Because while you are in the car, and it does self-drive, like Bill Belichick does drive the team, the Tesla will still say, driver, are you there? And it will make you touch that steering wheel because though you don't have to drive, you still got to check in. The problem is when the Patriots need Mac Jones to check in, Bucs game, 4th and 3, check in, big dog. Check in, big dog. Okay, you can't check in unless it's attempt the 56-yard field goal.
Don't do it.
Colts game, first half, first 3 quarters. Check in, big dog. Mac Jones, check in, big dog. Can't do it. This past game versus the Bills. Okay, Mac Jones, it's no longer minus 20 with the freaking blitz. Mac Jones, we need you to check in, big dog. 39 passer rating. Check in, big dog. 142 passing yards. Check in, big dog. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Can't do it. The problem, once again, is still, even though the Patriots don't ask much of Mac Jones, what they do ask, and when they do ask it, against teams that you know you're going to have to ask it more often than not, he might come up short. Not even might. He will come up short.
He will?
The issue is it's not problematic. He's a rookie quarterback. Everyone before him has come up short. The greats of Tom Brady, Peyton Manning.
Let's go.
Tom Brady didn't start his rookie year. And everybody included.
Yeah, here's the problem. And this, boy, ain't nothing worse when you didn't check in on that damn steering wheel and them big red hands. They got these big red. You're like, hey, dog, I'm still riding, bro. Let me pull over. But all you got to do is pull over real quick, you know, punt the ball, and then you just go right back on the road. Bill Belichick. Let's go. That's how we roll with this team, this squad. I want to do this because I love to borrow from you as well. I don't always try to give, and I certainly don't take, but sometimes I want to borrow. Let's exchange some information. When I talk about grading yourself versus yourself, you always tell me you're graded against the field. Okay, let's start at the top of the field if you're in the AFC. Kansas City Chiefs. Let's start with Patrick Mahomes. Interesting. What's Bill Belichick versus Patrick Mahomes? 2-2. It's a good record against Patrick Mahomes because he's a winning quarterback. He's not a 500 quarterback. Let's do it. More importantly, let's dive into the numbers of Bill Belichick versus the greatest show on turf 2.0, but they on grass in the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, have I seen a reduction of Patrick Mahomes each time he faces Bill Belichick? Absolutely. First time you saw him, whoa, light it up. Second time, not so much. Third time, fourth time, ooh, Bill, did you figure something out? My point is this. There's 2 ways to catch something. Either 1, you run faster than it, or 2, it slows down.
Yes, sir.
Oh, boop, boop, Bill Belichick. And then you see Mac Jones just sitting there like this, and he looking to the side, and Patrick Mahomes is there. And he ain't in a Tesla. He ain't got what we got. This defense right here, 3rd-ranked defense in totality, especially against the pass, which is going to come into play when you're on the road against the Patrick Mahomes. So I'm not thinking this team is overhyped, and more importantly, I'm not worried about this team. They just got somebody going to need a little assistance in driving to where they need to go. Coming up, Acho's our resident Cowboys critic. So does he owe them an apology after yesterday's big win? Oh, we'll find out next. We're going to hear, we're going to see, we're going to find out next. Don't speak for yourself.
Hate rich people.
That's an apology suit. Cowboys blew out Washington last night behind Dak Prescott's 4-touchdown performance. They are the NFC East champs and have the number 2 seed in the conference. But that's not it. Our resident Cowboys critic, Acho, let's come down hard on them leading up to their big win. So, Acho, do you owe the Cowboys an apology?
No. The reason is this, Sal. Why do people apologize? People apologize if they misspeak, if they say something out of turn, if they say something that they shouldn't have said. That's why I would apologize. Y'all know me. I apologized last year. I believe it was maybe to Kevin Durant for questioning if he was the best player in the world.
Not a maybe. It was Kevin Durant.
Yep, I apologize.
You can't even apologize fully to Kevin Durant right now.
I am a humble man who is more than willing to apologize. Okay, I'll take out the humble man.
I was about to say, yo,
I am more than willing to apologize.
Your chin was this high, though. I am a humble man.
But we got to establish,
what?
If I'm going to apologize, what am I apologizing for?
What
did I say about the Cowboys? Run the sound, man. Run the sound. It's a different one. The teams you will see in the playoffs are 500 and above football teams. So while the Cowboys do a great job defensively, they do a great job defensively against the likes of the Saints, against the likes of Washington, against the likes of the Giants. You're not going to see them boys in the playoffs. I said that the Cowboys do great jobs against teams you're not going to see in the playoffs. This Washington team that the Cowboys dismantled. Just do away with. You're not going to see that Washington team in the playoffs. Again, Dak Prescott, 28-25 versus teams that are lesser than 500. Dak Prescott, 24-6 versus the NFC East. Dak Prescott wins 80% of the time against the NFC East. Dak Prescott wins 40% of the time against teams that are 500. So playoff teams, rather. So what am I going to apologize for? Like, what you want me to say? Hercules, because they beat Washington? Congratulations. We knew that was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. Everybody and their mama knew it was going to happen. I will apologize when the Dallas Cowboys win a playoff game again. At 1:29 Pacific time on December 27th. My iPad broke, y'all. December 27th. I will apologize when the Cowboys win a playoff game. Until then, my stance is I expect the Cowboys to beat bad teams and struggle against good teams.
Okay. I understand why you don't apologize. I understand why you're not. No, I think you're wrong. But let's talk about this. Let's really have therapy up here. I think you have bought into a mindset that apologizing is a sign of weakness instead of a sign of strength. I learned this the hard way through marriage. You got to apologize a lot. And there are two reasons to apologize. One, you're just blatantly wrong. And two, you cause unnecessary pain or ill, right? Just unnecessary. My wife taught me this valuable lesson that I'm still learning to this day. But let's talk about these Cowboys who are 2-2 versus playoff teams this year, right? So that's average. That's 500. That's mediocre, whatever you want to call it. Acho, you didn't come out here and say anything good about them. You weren't being an optimist about a 2-2 record, right? You also, with a 2-2 record, it almost tells you to say nothing. It's like you don't know, good, bad, or other. But you took it to the other extreme. You said, I'm not going to say anything good, and I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to say something bad about something that I should just say nothing about. That is unnecessary ill. And that is unnecessary pain for my Dallas Cowboys. Now it's a my thing. Now I'm bringing it home. Acho, I caught you in this one because I know you. I know you're empathetic. I know you got the prayer hands. I know that you can go there with someone else and understand their plight. Dallas Cowboys have won a playoff game before. Let's just get that out the way. More importantly, if you look at their playoff losses, you start to realize, it was a miraculous throw, but a tremendous throw by Aaron Rodgers. Took him out another year. Then you look at another year and say, damn, Zeke, did you show up to the playoff game? Point being, this is a 2-2 team this year against playoff teams. I just wish Acho would apologize for not saying something good or not saying anything at all, for actually taking it to the extreme he didn't have to, for saying something bad about this team.
So first and foremost, we got to talk. I can't come on this show and say nothing. I can for about 2 seconds, but after that, you look at him. I don't want to. What? I don't want to lie on the Cowboys. I like the Cowboys. What do I mean by that? I need the Cowboys to win. We need the Cowboys to win. The Cowboys sell tickets. Cowboys make great TV. I love the Cowboys when they win. So I'm not going to lie on the Cowboys. But even if we look at a cycle of football, we talk about a cycle. A cycle is 4 games. Yeah. Even if you include Dak Prescott's marvelous game yesterday, let's look at Dak Prescott versus the other NFC division leaders. That's Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers.
Let's do that.
The last 4 games, Dak Prescott and all the others. Not better than Aaron Rodgers, obviously. Not better than Matthew Stafford.
Look how you looking.
Not better than Tom Brady. Okay, well, Dak played a great game yesterday, so still not better than
we doing this.
Rodgers in yards. Not better than Brady in yards. Not better than Stafford in yards. Okay, let's go completion percentage. Not better than Rodgers. Not better than Stafford. Oh, thank God he has Brady beat. Let's go pass rating because Marcellus loves that.
That's my thing right there.
Way worse than Rodgers, Stafford, and Brady. So again, maybe, just maybe, Dak Prescott will win a playoff game. Why? Because right now the Cowboys are supposed to play the Eagles. And Dak Prescott is 24-6 versus division opponents. He's seeded to play the Eagles in the playoffs.
There it is.
But after you win that one game, guess what happens, Dan?
What happened, Dan?
You got to see Rodgers or Brady or Stafford. And even if we include Dak's game from yesterday, he still pales in comparison to the other top quarterbacks in the NFC.
Okay.
It's on you.
Oh, it's on me? Oh, we playing this kind of game? Okay. I used to be good at tetherball. Remember that? Hit it back. Then you get caught in that rope. Tangles. Stop the game. Let's stop the game. Let's stop playing up here right now. For a man who doesn't love, like is a lot. And I know you like the Cowboys, so that's a lot to me. Because I know you don't know who love is. I know you don't love any team out there. I know you don't love anybody out there. Hey, ladies. Not him.
I love my mama.
Oh, you love your mama? I love my mama and sleep, what Drake say? In my bed. You silly. Here's the thing. Oh, Acho, once again, you found yourself in the same place that you said before. And I thought that place was a trap. You got out of it. We're not going to compare Dak Prescott to these individual quarterbacks. Why? Because that's not how the game is played. If that's the case, why didn't Aaron Rodgers beat Tom Brady last year? Individually, he outperformed Tom Brady. Oh. Because why does Tom Brady sit there with 7 rings? Because he makes it add up. Why does Aaron Rodgers sit there with just 1 ring? Is because he's doing his part, but it's not adding up in totality. Brady, Rodgers, Dak, which quarterback scores the most points for their team? Which team has the highest scoring offense? You know what it is, Dallas Cowboys. Who has the best total offense? Packers, Bucks, Cowboys. Cowboys. We're not going to get into a conversation where you got to outperform that individual quarterback, because if that's the case, then we would see Aaron Rodgers in a much higher prop position than he currently stands. But you want to do that to these Dallas Cowboys. You want to move the goalposts once again. We moved the goalposts on Dak Prescott, said, it's not your individual performances, it's the team. Then we saw the team, it's not the team, it's you. Dog, it's all adding up for this team right now. The Green Bay Packers sit there. Number 1 seed. Number 2 seed, Dallas Cowboys, who improved to 9-1 versus NFC teams. That means they have the best record in their conference. Dallas Cowboys are ready. Ready for your apology, too, but coming up, the Colts are speaking at the right time. Tell you they're the most dangerous team in the AFC. That's next. Don't speak for yourself. I'll wait for that playoff game. The Colts rode to the desert on Christmas, came away with a win over the Cardinals. Carson Wentz threw 2 touchdown passes, and MVP candidate Jonathan Taylor rushed for over 100 yards for the 9th time this year. Beast. Indy has won 3 straight and are currently the 5th seed in the AFC. So, Acho, are the Colts the most dangerous team in the AFC?
Man, it's so good to be talking about my guy, Carson Wentz. Good to see you, big dog. Good to see you, big dog. I'll text you later. We going to rap happy for you. Proud of you.
He looking over here, though.
Colts are by far the most dangerous team in the AFC. Here's why I say that. Y'all bear with me. The most dangerous animal, in my opinion, is a snake. So it's most dangerous. Not a lion, because it's more deadly. Not a killer whale, not a shark, but a snake. Why? Because a lion, I know to keep my distance. A shark, I know to keep my distance. A killer whale, it has killer in the name. I know to keep my distance.
I ain't no killer.
But a snake, some snakes you look at, and I saw on Halloween, some people will be dressed with snakes on Halloween as part of their costumes. Some snakes you think, oh, well, you can keep them as a pet. You'll never keep a lion or a killer whale as a pet because you understand their danger. But a snake, it might lure you into thinking it is safe. The Colts will lure you into thinking they're safe. Oh, Carson's a quarterback. They ain't got nothing for us. They ain't got no big-time receivers. They ain't about to make no noise. But the Colts are dangerous, like a snake is dangerous, because you don't actually know how lethal it is. I remember as a kid, you would often hear about a certain snake. Red touching black, it's safe for Jack. But if red's touching yellow, it'll kill a fellow. I tried to memorize that, but I don't have time to figure out, red touching black. So, safe. Red touching yellow, I got time to think about all that. Because by the time I realize if red is touching black or if red is touching yellow, I am dead. By the time you realize, wait, what version of Carson Wentz is it? You down 17-3. By the time you realize, but they don't have any big-time receivers. Jonathan Taylor just scored again. It's not that the Colts are the most deadly team in the AFC.
Yeah.
That, to me, is the Chiefs. Okay. But the Colts are the most dangerous team in the AFC, because just like a snake, you don't know where to put them. My last story for my analogy, and Sal, do with it what you will. I recall watching this documentary And I was watching a documentary, and the snake owner took their snake to the vet cell because the snake wasn't eating the food that it was giving them, right? Snake hadn't eaten in like 4 or 5 days. And they're like, is the snake sick? What's going on? They take him to the vet. They explain, well, the snake hadn't been eating in days, wasn't eating any of the snake food, whatever the case may be. And the vet did some examination and said, oh, it's because the snake is preparing to eat you.
Damn.
See, what the Colts do is you think that they are not lethal. You think they're not a threat. They just have Carson Wentz, no first-round big-time receivers. Yeah, got a couple Pro Bowlers on the offensive line, but they ain't that good. By the time you realize just how deadly they are, just how lethal they are, it's too late.
Tremendous take. I'm already scared of snakes. I ain't need to hear none of that. You had me at snake. You didn't have to go into any deeper layers than that. But since you did, I started to take a little notice and started to fear those snakes a little less because I just saw somebody trying to sell me some snake oil. Lure me into thinking that this snake is so dangerous. Like you lured me into thinking that take was going to take me and change my mind. Then I realized, oh, you little gardener snake, get out of here. But see, you're from Texas, so I don't know even why you got that fear built in you, because y'all see them real things,
Real
right?
talk.
I'm a city boy from L.A. If I see a snake, ghost face killer, I'm out. I'm running. I ain't got time to memorize no riddles. Oh, let's talk about why this team is something to take notice of. I don't think it's as dangerous as a snake. I don't think it's something that is really going to make me skip a heartbeat. But I am looking at these Colts like, what's going on with you? I look at them, 8-2 in the last 10 games. Okay, that's something special. I look at them, they're 4-1 at primetime games. That matters to me because the light's about to get brighter, y'all, and this team shows up. But then I start to say, are they really all that? Because this is a team that's 500 at home. All right, whatever. They may have to go on the road, you say. And they're going to have to take that quarterback with them, and that's the problem. I don't know how much venom is in Carson Wentz, being real. When it's playoff time, let's be real. Matthew Stafford has his own conversation of 0-3 in the playoffs. You want to know what's worse than Matthew Stafford's 0-3 in the playoffs? Carson Wentz's 1 quarter of playoff football. Carson Wentz has played 1 quarter of football in January. 1 quarter. It reads like this, y'all. 2017, IR. All right, whatever. 2018, inactive. Well, 2019, 1 completion, 4 attempts. Night-night.
Don't do that.
I'm going to do that because football hurts.
It was a late hit.
Football.
It was a dirty play.
Late hit. Was the whistle still echoing? Wasn't that late? So here's the thing. I just have question marks. So if I see something that I should be scared of but doesn't look scary, and then I'll start to realize, oh, I know what that is. Where am I going? Why am I running? I'm not running from these Colts.
You bring up a great point, and let's hone in on that point for the last minute and a half. This is a great year for a quarterback to have not a lot of experience. It's a great year for your quarterback to have mediocre and moderate playoff experience. Drew Brees gone. Phillip Rivers gone. Russell Wilson ain't making the playoffs. So let's go AFC, let's go NFC, Sel.
Okay.
AFC, Joe Burrow, never been to the playoffs before. AFC, Josh Allen, we know playoffs, he be spazzing. AFC, Mac Jones, never been to the playoffs before. AFC, Ryan Tannehill, moderate playoff success at best. AFC, Lamar Jackson, we know his biggest knock was the playoffs. So Carson Wentz, you really only have to look at Patrick Mahomes as the one quarterback that actually has some true playoff success. And to Sel's point, he's played 1 good quarter of Super Bowl games. But otherwise, Tannehill, Allen, Jackson, 3 of the top 7 teams in the AFC, their quarterbacks haven't even been to the playoffs. Burrow.
Yeah.
We removed the full screen, but y'all saw the names. Burrow, Mac Jones, and there was somebody else in that picture. In the NFC, Kyler Murray, he ain't been to the playoffs. Stafford, he's 0-3 in the playoffs. Dak Prescott, 1-2 in the playoffs. So even when you go to the NFC, yeah, you got Brady. Clearly you have Rodgers. But even when I go top to bottom, Jalen Hurts, he's 7th seed. He ain't been to the playoffs. Jimmy G, we know he has his highs. We know he has his lows. But even in the NFC playoff picture, Hurts, never been to the playoffs. Stafford, 0-3 in the playoffs. Murray, never been to the playoffs. Dak, 1-2 in the playoffs. So if your biggest question is about Carson Wentz and his playoff success, I would only retort with this. It is a great year to have minimal playoff success because not a lot of quarterbacks do.
I'll give you that. All I'm going to do is retort with your retort and say this. Playoff football is plan B football, right? So you're going to go with Jonathan Taylor, and you're going to work him. I mean, we're going to work Jonathan Taylor, and we expect greatness. However, if you have to play the Patriots, let's just say, Bill Belichick is going to emphasize Plan B football. So that second-ranked rushing attack and Jonathan Taylor, MVP candidate, we're going to minimize you. Let's just say that. Plan B, go Carson Wentz. Oh, you don't have any experience to draw on. Oh, yes, you do. 1 completion in 4 attempts. More importantly, go ahead, Carson Wentz, and the 22nd ranked passing attack. They don't have the proper balance when they have to go Plan B. It's going to be interesting to see, though, because you make a great case. Not too many snakes to be scared of out there. Coming up, Washington battled the Cowboys and themselves last night. Literally, they did. We have a lot to say about their sideline scuffle. That's next. Don't speak for yourself, my man. Washington was blown out by the Cowboys last night, but that was not their only battle. Let's talk about it. During the second quarter, after giving up a touchdown, Washington defensive tackle Jonathan Allen threw a punch at his teammate Deron Payne. After the game, Payne called it, quote, just a little brotherly disagreement. So, Acho, what's your reaction to the Washington sideline scuffle scrap, homie?
Oh, boy, I had secondhand embarrassment watching that fight.
Ooh.
Like, I was embarrassed for them. Let's clarify something. Brothers do fight. I have a brother. He played in the National Football League, as did I. Grown brothers do not fight. I haven't fought with my brother since I was 12. Okay, so let's stop using this excuses, brothers fight. Yes, brothers absolutely fight, but 24 and 26-year-old brothers probably shouldn't be fighting. I had secondhand embarrassment, though, Sel. Honestly, it reminded me of this situation, and if you ain't been in it, you know of it, and it's embarrassing. It reminded me of this situation. A dude's in a relationship, and his old lady steps out on him, and you see the 2 dudes fighting. The one she stepped out on him with, and her ex fighting. And you're looking at the 2 dudes fighting, the one that the guy whose girl cheated on him with, they fight, and you sitting here just scratching your head like, because he's not the perpetrator. Y'all sitting here fighting each other when y'all should collectively be mad at her.
Ooh.
Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen were sitting there fighting each other when y'all collectively should have been mad at her. Her being the Dallas Cowboys.
Them boys.
Like,
Ooh, yeah.
Y'all mad at each other for what they did. That y'all didn't do nothing. They did this to you. Secondhand embarrassment.
Secondhand embarrassment. That's good. I like that. Man, my reaction was, I know what the situation was about. And don't blame the Dallas Cowboys, because the Dallas Cowboys just highlighted what you already got as an issue. This was a little bit of a sibling rivalry, because this is a beef between a dude who knows you and who knew you. Now, when they know you and they knew you, things don't get reset like they should. Let's talk about it. Because Jonathan Allen is sitting there like, yeah, you knew me, but I'm not the same dude you knew. I'm a little more than that right now. You no scrub, I'm no scrub. I'm less scrub than you, though. Be real. Deron Payne, you're a beast, too. Just not the same kind of beast as I am. So what happens is when we get into problem situations, you know how it go. It runs downhill. So if Jonathan Allen messes up in the game, ain't nobody really chin-checking him. They just kind of encourage him, do better, do better, do better, do better with your 8.5 sacks, right? Meanwhile, when Deron probably does the same thing, he feeling a little more heat. Turn the thermostat down a little bit, coach. Nah. So now we get into a moment where they're getting embarrassed. Embarrassed in front of everybody, right? And here we go. Now Deron feels like this is time to break the seal, to break the code. Because not only is he struggling, Jonathan Allen is struggling, the Washington football team is struggling, but we all ain't catching the same hell on this sideline. So what does he do to break the code? I knew you. I know you. Nobody else can do this to you. And Jonathan Allen quickly said, you don't know who I am right now. And that's what went down in that moment. Meanwhile, as you show that, I'm in the actual video. I'm number 95. His name is Casey Two Hill. I'm going to nickname you Casey Two Real, because you're the only one keeping it 1,000. All right, bro. I'm out of this thing right here. But, dog, this was sibling rivalry. This is mama and daddy getting on Acho Emmanuel more than Sam. And finally, Emmanuel tried to get him. And it wasn't the time.
Casey Two Real.
Casey Two Real. Coming up, the Panthers lost again. But Matt Rule says everything is on track in Carolina. He's like, I'm out. We'll tell you if he's keeping it 100 like Casey Two Real or just 99. That's next on Speak for Yourself. I like that. I was embarrassed too as a football player. On this show, you only know how to keep it 100, but others only keep it 99. So each day, we get to the bottom. Who's really telling the truth? Case in point, those Panthers. Oh, they lost their 5th straight game Sunday, but Matt Rule still thinks the process is working in Carolina. And listen.
I believe it's 1,000% working. I just know no one can see it, and I apologize. As I tell our team all the time, it took Jay-Z like 7 years. It took him 7 years. He had to start his own agency to become famous, to become an overnight sensation. Like, it takes time.
I'll tell you, Matt Rule keeping it 199.
Matt Rule keeping it negative 90. Bro, first and foremost, if Jay-Z took 7 years, then he's not an overnight sensation. That is 7 years. Yeah. Also, Matt Rule, if you think you got 7 years to get it right as an NFL head coach, you lying to yourself, big dog.
He got a 7-year deal, so you might be lying to yourself. See, this is what happens when you don't keep it 100,000. Like he's 1,000% right. It takes forever to be an overnight sensation.
Don't end like this, Sal.
Acho, it took forever for us to get here, did it not?
This is how you gonna leave.
People just didn't see all the work. And that's it for us. Fuck Man Live is next.
I agree with you.